Are you sitting at home and it's just there? Are you driving along and it's just there? What gives you that idea?
The lesbian one, I suppose that comes from an incident that happened to me in Belconnen. We were playing in Canberra and I went to my favourite food hall for a bit of tucker, a bit of chow, and there must have been some sort of protest going on because my favourite food hall had been overtaken by these unwashed protesters. And as a result of that, I was forced to sit opposite this thunderous diesel dyke. So she got this plate in front of her, and it was about the size of a baby basket, and it was just full of all this green stuff. There was lettuce and cabbage and bean sprouts, the whole lot, and she was woofing into it, and around about then my steak turned up. And she looked at me, she said, "You know how that animal died?" I said, "Yeah, you starved it to death, you fat fuck."
You didn't say that, did you?
Yes, I did.
Did you? So when you said that, how did she react?
She hit me.
Seriously?
Yes, yeah. I also got knocked out by a lesbian in Alice Springs as well. They don't sort of get it. They don't get it.
But what is it they're meant to get? You're not exactly showing them a great deal of respect, are you?
Fuck them.
I think I rest my case. You said your mum didn't like your act. What did she say to you?
Well, Mum and Dad were living in Lismore, and when I was touring Lismore, Mum would always come to the show, but she'd never go inside the theatre section. She'd always stay outside and talk to Betty. But Dad had always come to the show, and he loved it. And finally, I got to play at the London Palladium. And so we took Mum over there with my brother and his wife. They looked after Mum, and she ended up in the Royal Box at the London Palladium. True story.
It's a dream for you.
The Palladium certainly was, yes.
No, the Royal Box, there's a whole song. Sorry, I'm doing your work for you now.
I don't know about royal family of late. That I can't believe that Prince Charles left Lady Di for that Camilla, Sheila. You wouldn't fuck her on a footy trip, would you?
Keep going. So there you were at the London Palladium. I'm sorry, I sidetracked it.
The London Palladium, and Mum was there, and she saw the show for the first time, and this is probably about, a good 10 years into my career, and at the end of the night she came backstage. I said, "There you go, Mum." I said, "That's what I do for a living." She said, "Dennis, you're very, very funny." And then she give me a backhander. She said, "But you still swear too much."
When you played the London Palladium, that was one of those, I'm sure I can't believe I'm here moments.
Yes, right. I have those moments almost every day. Seriously, because I never ever thought that what started out as a hobby would be such a career. It turned into a career. And there's nobody more surprised by the success of it than I am.
Why do you reckon your thoughts always head towards the crude? What is that, do you think?
Oh, no, I do write straight songs. I've had a number of songs recorded by other artists. Slim Dusty recorded 2 of my songs on his 100th album.
There are some particular people that know you, though, and an unusual list of fans. Let's go through them. Kerry Packer. How did you know he was a fan?
When he died, there was a thing in the paper by one of the football players in Sydney, one of the rugby players, and he told the story in his column about how he was driving in Kerry's Rolls Royce, and Kerry said, "You got to listen to this," and stuck my stuff on. So I didn't know about that until Kerry died.
The one which I find harder to get my head around is Prince Charles.
True story, yeah. We're playing in a place called Usk in Wales, and after the show I do the signing. I always stick back and do the signing, and there was about 4 or 5 blokes in suits waiting back, so I picked them as being coppers, and this guy said, "I'm from New Zealand, I'm on secondment to the special branch in the UK," and I was moving the boss's car, and as I started the engine up, this song came on, "Stick that fucking phone up your fucking heart," and he said, I thought, what, this bloke sounds Australian or Kiwi, so he rummaged through the glove box and he found 2 of my cassettes in there, and he said, "You'll be interested to know," he says, "my boss is actually Prince Charles, His Royal Highness Prince Charles, Prince of Wales." Oh, fuck off.
OK, so I've been listening to your music, and in your act, sometimes in songs, sometimes on stage, you use words like Sambo and coon, and you've referred to your hobby farmers, kick a coon along, and you've been accused of racism. What's your definition of racist?
Racism is born out of hate. if I was a racist, I wouldn't have Aboriginal artwork on my guitar. I love Aboriginal artwork, and for the most, I love the culture. Hitler was a racist, and his stuff is born out of hate. None of the stuff that I do is born out of hate. I'm just not that sort of person.
The words are powerful, though. I mean, words like coon and sambo, they come from a history of hatred.
I don't use sambo. I've never used that word.
It's in one of your songs.
Oh, it fucking is, too.
Yeah. Hey, Kamal, you sambo.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But these words come from, historically, from hatred. They come from dispossession and murder and lynching and all of these. They're powerful words, aren't they, to be throwing around?
Not in humour. Not in humour, I don't
Does humour disarm all of that?
I believe so, yeah. An incident, I was shooting a beer commercial up in the Northern Territory, and we went out to a little place called Owen Pelly. And one of the Aboriginal people, it turns out he was one of the tribal elders of Arnhem Land. And he came up to me and said, Kevin, if I get you a left-handed guitar, would you play my people some music? I said, yeah. So I sat on like a table in this quadrangle, and I sang Santa Claus and a few of the other songs. And this same guy came up to me and said, hey, Kevin, you can't live here without singing Living Next Door to Helen.
Which, the reason people are laughing, that's a song about a group of Aborigines, or Abos as they are in the song, that move next door to Alan Bond, and eventually they outdo him and he goes off.
Yep.
He moves out.
Yep. But at the end of the song, or the end of that little performance, impromptu performance, and particularly the part where I get to, at least we don't got fucking coons live next door to us, the whole lot of them, and there's probably as many people here as were sitting around that table, again, yeah, they went off with it. And at the end of it, when we were about to leave, this fellow, Nathan, his English name was Nathan, he said, Kevin, come with me, come with me. When I went over there, this shed was full of Aboriginal artwork. And he opened the doors of the shed. He said, Kevin, he said, you take whatever you want from there. And I said, I can't do that. He said, come on, I want you to take it. He said, because you make our people laugh.
Is it possible, though, that your audience, in hearing these words being used, which have been hateful words, that it gives them permission to use them for reasons which may not be for entertainment?
No, again, give my audience some credit. They're just normal people like I am. As I say, when I walk off stage, I go back to being...
Isn't that how society changes, though, that the majority of people, normal people, discard the things which have caused damage and move on from them?
Again, without getting too intellectual about it, I come back to the simple answer. Racism's born out of hate. I can't see that what I do is racist.
Have you ever found yourself typecast?
Typecast as a yobbo, yeah. Happy with that.
Have you ever found yourself typecast in a way you weren't happy?
Well, like you and I, for instance, stand up. We're the same height. So you would have copped every short joke that's ever been written, wouldn't you?
From myself, mostly, yes.
Exactly. And the same here. We cop all the short jokes. I cop all the short, fat jokes now because of this. But, again, it's a grain of salt. It's people make jokes about the differences.
You've got quite an empire now. I mean, I don't know how much money you've made. Obviously, many billions. You've got your own internet radio station, you've got your own television production studios, radio production studios. Yet, as I said in the intro, you've never been mainstream. This is a rare television appearance for you. Is the fact you haven't been mainstream actually contributed to your success, do you think?
Oh, I think so, definitely. The fact that you can't hear my stuff on radio and very rarely on television is part of why it's been successful, is because mates have been telling mates about it.
Kevin, when you shuffle off, which of your songs would you like played at your funeral?
Oh, I got one. Yep.
I was just hoping for a title, but there we go.
In fact, I'll get you all to join in. I'm the sort of bloke that'd like to think that if I could go back in time, Banjo and Henry and even Ned Kelly would all be good mates of mine. Because they're piss pots, poets and outlaws, and I can relate to that. And I can relate to their attitude too. In a word, dillygaff. That's spelled D-I-L-L-I-G-A-F. Dillygaff is what it means. Do I look like I give a fuck? Dillygaff. Am I being direct enough? Dillygaff. just another way of saying I couldn't give a fucking rat's ass, mate. Do I look like I give a fuck? Dilly Gaff, your turn. Do I look... There you go.
Kept bloody Rosen, mate.